A bedroom in Chester, England. The glow of multiple computer screens illuminates a teenage face in the darkness. His fingers are flying across the keyboard. On one monitor, lines of code scroll past. On another, a chat room fills with messages. Hundreds of them. Thousands. He's coordinating an army. Right now, across the Atlantic Ocean, executives at PayPal are watching their systems collapse. Transaction after transaction failing. Error messages flooding their screens. The company is hemorrhaging money by the second. £3.5 million gone in just 10 days. The corporations think they're untouchable. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, giants of the financial world. But tonight, they're all on their knees. And the person bringing them down? An 18-year-old from a quiet British town. A kid who's been glued to a computer since he was 8 years old. A kid with special needs. A kid who should be invisible. But he's not invisible anymore. He's the number 2 most powerful operator in Anonymous, the Faceless Legion, the digital ghost army that governments fear. His weapon? A simple piece of software anyone can download. His target? The most powerful payment processors on Earth. His crime? Defending the truth. But here's what nobody knows yet. The FBI is already tracing the digital breadcrumbs. They're closing in, and when they finally knock on his door, the world will discover something that changes everything. This is the story of Jake Birchall. Let's go back to the beginning. Chester, England. A historic city with Roman walls and medieval architecture. Beautiful, quiet. The kind of place where nothing much happens. Inside one house in one bedroom, a boy is building an empire nobody can see. His name is Jake Birchall. He's just 8 years old, and he's already spending every waking hour on the internet. While other kids are playing football in the park, Jake is exploring forums, learning code, understanding how networks function. By the time he's 10, he knows more about computer systems than most adults. By the time he's 15, he's fluent in multiple programming languages. And by the time he's 17, he's ready to join something bigger than himself. But here's the question you should be asking. How does a lonely teenager in England end up orchestrating cyber attacks that cost corporations millions? What transforms a kid in his bedroom into one of the most wanted hackers on the planet? The answer is simple. He finds a family, a digital family, a collective that promises him power, purpose, and anonymity. They call themselves Anonymous. (2010). The internet is a different place. Facebook is still new. Twitter is just getting started. And in the dark corners of the web, something is growing. It starts on 4chan, an image board. Anonymous users posting memes, jokes, chaos. No names, no faces. Just ideas spreading like wildfire. But some of these anonymous users want more than memes. They want justice. They want to punish corporations that abuse copyright laws. They want to defend internet freedom. They organize, they plan, they attack, and they call it Operation Payback. The first targets, the music industry, the film industry, any organization trying to shut down file-sharing websites. They use a tool called LOIC, Low Orbit Ion Cannon. It sounds like a weapon from a sci-fi movie, and in a way it is. One click, that's all it takes. Download the software, enter a target, click fire. Suddenly, your computer becomes part of a botnet, a zombie in a digital army. And when thousands of computers all send requests to the same website at the same time, the website dies. Distributed Denial of Service, DDoS, the website for the Recording Industry Association of America, down. The Motion Picture Association, crashed. Anti-piracy groups, obliterated. And Jake Birchall? He's not just participating, he's organizing, he's running chat rooms, he's coordinating targets, he's becoming a network operator, but this is just practice. The real war is about to begin, and it starts with a man named Julian Assange. December 2010. WikiLeaks is under siege. Julian Assange has just released hundreds of thousands of classified US diplomatic cables. Secrets. Scandals. The truth that governments wanted buried. The backlash is immediate and brutal. First, Amazon kicks WikiLeaks off its servers. Then PostFinance, a Swiss bank, freezes Assange's personal assets. Then the hammer falls. Visa stops processing donations to WikiLeaks. MasterCard stops processing donations to WikiLeaks. PayPal stops processing donations to WikiLeaks. In a single week, WikiLeaks loses its ability to receive funding. The financial giants have effectively strangled the organization. No money in, no operations possible. Julian Assange is arrested in London. And on the internet, rage is building. In IRC chat rooms across the globe, anonymous members are typing furiously. They see this as censorship, as corporations bending to government pressure, as the powerful crushing the weak. Someone needs to fight back. Someone needs to show these corporations they're not invincible. And Jake Birchall, sitting in his bedroom in Chester, is about to become that someone. But here's what makes this story even more shocking. Jake isn't driven by money. He isn't driven by fame. He's driven by something prosecutors will later struggle to understand. Ideology. The belief that information should be free, that the internet should be ungoverned, that the powerful shouldn't dictate what the public can know. He's about to declare war on the financial system itself, and he has thousands of soldiers ready to follow his commands. December 8th, 2010. The operation has a name now, Operation Payback. But this time it's not about music piracy or movie downloads. This time it's about defending WikiLeaks. Jake is online. His screens show multiple IRC channels. Messages flood in from around the world. People asking for targets, people ready to attack, people hungry for revenge. The first target, MasterCard. The attack begins. Thousands of computers, millions of data packets, all aimed at MasterCard's website. The traffic overwhelms the servers. Error messages cascade. The website goes dark. Hours pass. The site is still down. Anonymous members are celebrating in the chat rooms. They've wounded a giant. But Jake isn't done. Next target? Visa. Same strategy, same result. Visa's website crashes, customer service is paralyzed, the company scrambles to understand what's happening. Then PayPal. The attack on PayPal lasts 10 days. 10 days of relentless digital bombardment. The damage? £3.5 million. Just from PayPal alone. And it's not just the financial companies. The British recorded music industry gets hit. Anti-piracy groups, anyone who's ever opposed internet freedom. The attacks are surgical, coordinated, devastating. Across the attacked websites, the same message appears. You've tried to bite the anonymous hand. You angered the hive, and now you are being stung. The media goes insane. CNN calls it a cyber war. The BBC interviews security experts who warn that this is just the beginning. The Guardian publishes think pieces about the rise of hacktivism. And in his bedroom, Jake Birchall is riding the wave of chaos he helped create. But something else is happening. something Jake doesn't realize yet. Every packet of data his computer sends, it contains his IP address. Every command he types in the IRC chat, it's being logged. Every coordination meeting he holds, someone is watching. The FBI has entered the chat. Late December 2010. FBI agents across the United States are conducting raids. Doors are being kicked in, computers are being seized, anonymous members are being arrested one by one. A 16-year-old in the Netherlands arrested. Multiple suspects in the US arrested. The digital army is scattering. People are deleting files, wiping hard drives, going dark. In the IRC chat rooms, paranoia spreads like a virus. Who's talking? Who's been compromised? Can anyone be trusted? But in Chester, England, Jake Birchall is still online, still coordinating, still believing that his encryption, his proxies, his careful operational security will keep him safe. He's wrong. British police have been working with the FBI. They've been analyzing IRC logs, tracing IP addresses, building a case, and they know exactly who Jake Birchall is. They know what he's done. They know where he lives. And on one cold morning in 2011, they come for him. The knock on the door, the flash of badges, the reading of rights. Jake's computer is seized. His hard drives are taken. Every digital footprint he's ever left is about to be examined under a microscope. He's arrested, charged with conspiracy to impair the operation of computers, along with 3 others: Christopher Weatherhead, Ashley Rhodes, Peter Gibson, all members of Anonymous, all facing serious prison time. The evidence is overwhelming. The IRC logs show everything. The planning, the coordination, the attacks. There's no denying involvement. Jake pleads guilty. What else can he do? The evidence is airtight. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. A turn that will divide public opinion. A turn that raises questions about justice, punishment, and the nature of cybercrime. Because Jake Birchall has a secret that will save him from prison. January 24th, 2013, Southwark Crown Court, London. Christopher Weatherhead stands before the judge. He's 22. The prosecutors call him a high-ranking member of Anonymous, a cyber criminal who ran private chat rooms and acted as a spokesman. The judge sentences him to 18 months in prison. Ashley Rhodes, 28 years old, 7 months in prison. Peter Gibson, 24, 6 months, suspended for 2 years. 3 men, 3 sentences, all going to jail or receiving serious punishment. And then there's Jake Birchall, February 1st, 2013. The same courthouse, the same judge. The prosecutor lays out Jake's crimes, the attacks he coordinated, the £3.5 million in damages, the disruption to global commerce, the conspiracy that spanned continents. The judge acknowledges it all. He says Jake played a prominent and important part in the operation, that he was instrumental in the attacks, that his technical skills were advanced beyond his years, and then the judge says something that changes everything. Jake Birchall has special needs. He's been using the internet since he was 8 years old. 9 years of social isolation. 9 years of living in digital spaces instead of the real world. His development has been affected. His understanding of consequences impaired. The judge rules that prison would be inappropriate. Instead, Jake receives an 18-month youth rehabilitation order, 60 hours of unpaid work. The judge adds that Jake needs to learn to get out of bed in the morning and contribute to society. No prison, no jail time, no criminal record that will haunt him forever. The courtroom reaction is mixed. Some see mercy, others see injustice. How can someone who caused millions in damages walk free while his co-conspirators go to prison? But the law is clear. Jake was a minor with special needs. The system is designed to rehabilitate, not punish, in cases like this. Outside the courthouse, the debate rages. On internet forums, people argue about whether Jake was a victim or a criminal. A troubled kid exploited by older hackers, or a willing participant who knew exactly what he was doing? The truth, like most truths, is probably somewhere in between. Today, Jake Birchall has vanished from the public eye. There's a GitHub account in his name, suggesting he's still working with code. They're studied in cybersecurity courses. They're cited in legal cases about hacktivism. They're remembered as the moment when Anonymous went from internet pranksters to serious political actors. The total cost to corporations, over $5.6 million. The number of arrests worldwide, dozens. The impact on how we think about cyber warfare, immeasurable. But what about Jake? What did he learn from all this? The judge hoped he'd learn to get out of bed and do unpaid work, to contribute positively to society, to use his skills for good instead of chaos. Did he? We don't know. He stayed silent, stayed private, stayed away from the headlines that once screamed his name. And maybe that's the smartest thing he ever did, because in the end, Jake Birchall's story is a warning about how powerful the internet has become, how a teenager in a bedroom can bring down billion-dollar corporations, how anonymity can transform ordinary people into warriors, how ideology can blind us to consequences. But it's also a story about second chances, about recognizing when someone needs help instead of punishment, about understanding that not everyone who breaks the law deserves to have their life destroyed. Jake Birchall brought down Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. He cost corporations millions. He coordinated attacks across continents, and then he walked free. Was justice served? That's for you to decide.